Oh,
Granny's in the other room. You know she doesn't like me opening the shutters.
come out. Just for a minute.
It's already dark. She'd never let me.
Red, where are you? What are you doing?
Who would have thought? That little Red Riding Hood was actually the big bad wolf. Last night, 20 more sheep were killed by a wolf in the village. So the villagers formed a hunting team. They decided to go up the mountain to kill the wolf once and for all. Little Red Riding Hood was very excited and wanted to join them to hunt the wolf. But her grandmother sternly stopped her and reminded her to wear her cloak properly because Red could ward off wolves. That night, Grandma locked the door tightly, barred the closet, and sealed the windows. Then, armed with a crossbow, she guarded the entrance. She thought this would be foolproof. But the next morning, when Little Red and Snow White went to fetch water, a horrifying scene appeared. The bucket they pulled up was filled with blood. Severed limbs and bodies were scattered everywhere outside. Almost the entire hunting team from the day before had been wiped out. In the warehouse, all the villagers gathered. They swore to avenge their dead loved ones. The crowd was passionate, as if killing this wolf would be easier than crushing a bug. Then Grandma interrupted them. 60 years ago, she had seen with her own eyes 7 people surround a wolf just like this one, only to be torn to pieces in the blink of an eye. She still carried a permanent claw mark on her arm. She had been lucky to escape that day, but the bloody scene was forever burned in her memory. She warned the villagers not to provoke the beast, because anyone who went would just be walking into a trap. But Snow White refused to believe it. She took Little Red up the mountain behind Grandma's back. In the snow, they found a trail of bloody footprints. They followed the trail, but discovered that the wolf prints had turned into half-wolf, half-boot marks. The tracks extended all the way to the home of Little Red's boyfriend, Peter. Little Red couldn't believe her boyfriend was the bloodthirst beast, but the evidence was right in front of her. To stop him from killing again, Little Red decided to hide Peter from that night's hunting party. Snow White put on the cloak and pretended to be Little Red to keep Grandma from worrying. On the mountaintop, Little Red told Peter he was a werewolf, because after transforming, werewolves lose their humanity and don't remember what they've done. To prevent him from killing, Little Red bound him with chains and stayed by his side until the full moon faded. Meanwhile, Grandma eventually discovered Snow White. When she heard their plan, she panicked. She quickly took Snow White up the mountain. On the way, Grandma told Snow White everything. It turned out Little Red's mother was a werewolf, later killed by a hunting party, and when Little Red turned 13, she began to transform, too. To protect her, Grandma bought the cloak from a sorcerer to suppress her transformation. But now the cloak was on Snow White. Now Peter was tied up, and Little Red had no cloak. They dreaded what might happen. A wolf howl echoed. Grandma raised her silver crossbow. When they reached the mountaintop, it was too late. A giant wolf was devouring a body. Hearing footsteps, it turned and lunged at them. Grandma fired the crossbow. A howl of pain followed. They quickly threw the cloak over the werewolf. Moments later, the werewolf turned back into Little Red, but Peter had already been devoured.
Where's Peter?
He wasn't the wolf.